Now we're live.
All right. Let me start off with a question for I want all of you to answer. What are the process and what are the challenges with making a fantastic genre film?
Genre film specifically.
Genre film or fantastic films?
I don't know if I am aiming for making a genre film, but I'm very inspired by it. So but I'm not necessarily seeing the film itself as a genre film because I don't know.
It has very fantastic themes. With
yes. Yeah, I'm inspired a lot by other horror films, and especially I don't watch that much stop motion, so I'm mostly inspired by older live action horror films where you would use these practical effects that I like. And yeah, then I'm not using dialogue, so I think that's also something that places the story in another kind of world.
Maybe technical stuff like effects, I would say. I think that's probably the most difficult thing we kind of faced with our short film.
What are some of the what's the hardest with effects?
I think mainly just like trying to sell the realism for something that's not grounded in reality, and also kind of make it look like it fits within like the light and color and everything like that. So I guess I don't know if you agree with me.
Yes, exactly. I agree. We made a film together. We're brothers. Maybe that's obvious. And as you said, making a creature was the biggest obstacle for us. It was very technical, basically. So I think that is something that's unique for fantastic films, maybe, that you have to do something that's outside of the realm of reality.
Yeah.
But also try to sell it to an audience as well. So I think that was the biggest challenge for us.
I would say the same, actually, as you. The first thing, the technical part, having to, wipe up makeup from an actor and then have to shoot and all the small. There's a lot of details that you don't think about, but yeah, there are lots technical parts that were challenging, but also I'm a documentary filmmaker, so for me my challenge was to convince people that I could make a fiction film that was a sci-fi, and I've always loved sci-fi, but I didn't know that I could make one, so I had to first convince people that it was about motherhood, so that was also a topic that people really didn't think it would fit with, so yeah.
All right. Do we have any questions from the audience? All right, then I will go with another one. Finding a location is a very important part of the film. How do you go about finding the locations for the films that we have seen?
Okay, so I'll start. We looked at many locations, and the initial idea was that the character Rebecca in the film, she was actually going to kill R, and she was going to drown her. So we were looking for a location with water, and we couldn't find that, and it was very expensive. So I had to change my whole script when we found this other house. It's called the Tea House, and it's in Stockholm, and it's an architect that actually designed this house, and that was also a challenge because the house had special floors that we couldn't roll stuff on it, so we couldn't make all the shots that we wanted, but yeah, it was difficult to find that house, and it was actually my producer who found that house, so it wasn't me, but it was I really liked that house.
Yes, and in our case, so the first well, the first room is actually my old apartment, and then the last room where you see the girl swiping, that's like another room in my old apartment. So we were very like cheap in that regard. But the kind of like the creepy place was quite difficult for us to find, because in the beginning we wanted to film in a place that was supposed to be demolished. But the guy who kind of like handled that, he said that they had like a, well, pardon the phrasing, but kind of like a hobo problem with like homeless people like attacking and stuff. So we didn't like shoot anything there. Felt was a bit like, yeah, maybe not. So then we actually, it turned out that that company had like a big house that they were newly moved into, and they had like a section next to it that was like an old like
Smoking.
yeah, smoking house or something, like where you smoke like sausages and things like that. So they had like meat hooks and other like creepy things. So that was kind of like a, yeah, I don't know, like some sign from above or something.
Yeah.
So we were lucky in that regard. I don't know if you have anything to add.
No, I guess we just realized how creepy it looked, like instantaneously as soon as we walked in. And the guy helping us out, he was like, "Oh yeah, now that you mention it, it does kind of look like a horror movie inside here." Like, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a bit different for me because I have to construct my locations from scratch. But actually, I did use some. I took some pictures. I live in Malmö, and I used some pictures of real locations in the background. So I have projected backgrounds. You know, there's a scene where they're walking in the street. So I only made the closest building facade, and then I used the photography in the background. So yeah, I guess I could say that I wanted the environment to look like something familiar to me, and so I picked those
So,
places.
because we had two stop motions film in this package, how do you go about creating the environment that we see in the film?
Yeah, like I said, I wanted to create something that felt like something that you could, a place that you could walk into, and that's so that it would be like something that seems familiar. And I don't remember. I didn't make a lot of sketches. I think I just started building, and because I kind of had it in my head somehow, and
Yeah, it was very. It looked very. No, inviting might be the wrong word because the skeletons they fall, but it looked very inviting, I suppose.
that's good.
Do we have any questions for the audience? Oh yes, we have right up in the middle.
Just out of curiosity, it would be really interesting to hear like I don't know if the vision is the right word, but the whole original idea from the creators who created it. It would be really nice to hear a little bit about what was the initial vision when we created the film. Just to hear them.
Yeah, for me, I think it's a bit hard to say what comes first and how it starts, but it's usually I don't start with a concept. It's more like I start with this image in my head. So in this case, it was the idea of the skeleton, and I guess I also have gradually become more interested in relationships, and so it's kind of a mixture of combining things that come from my own life or people's lives that I know, and also just my nightmares and other kinds of fantasies.
Thank you.
So actually, he's much more of an eloquent talker. So I don't know if I can say anything like really deep, but I think we just wanted to creep people out, basically. We saw like this kind of creepy. I think it's pronounced GIF or yeah, and it was from like a Japanese movie, not that famous, called Seiron. And I don't know, like we saw it and that just kind of gave us, I guess, started to give us ideas. Or actually, I don't really remember the origin story for 1 or 15.
Well, I think it actually started with a really bad date that I had. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it actually started with just like, because dating apps are quite common these days. A lot of people I know use dating apps to meet new people. And I guess we kind of want to take something that a lot of people have, can recognize, I guess. And that's kind of like easy to, in a way, imagine. So we didn't want to take like anything that's like super, I don't know, distant for a lot of people. We want to take something more common, but then combine that with like a horror film. So in our way, it was kind of like the juxtaposition of like something really creepy with something kind of mundane and ordinary. So I think that was the beginning, and then we wrote like a bunch of scripts, and we actually had our friends read them, and it turned out that this film was kind of the favorite among the scripts that we wrote. So then we felt like, yeah, maybe this is the one that we should do. And we also had like pretty good a good feeling about it too. So it was kind of like a combination of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so original idea, good question. I had 3 kids, and when I gave birth to my third, I just realized that I wasn't enough, and that I wanted my kids to not just eat frozen pizza, and I wanted things to be perfect, and I realized that I couldn't do all that, but I had like a clone of myself that wanted that, and the other person wanted to be free from that. And I wrote a novel. It was like, I don't know, 45 pages about Rebecca, the character. And it was really long, a whole world with AIs and where everyone had a clone and so on. And also in the novel, the woman gets the clone and she, starts to understand how it works and so on. And but like here we had a budget, so we had to like just put the idea in when she already had the clone. So everything before the stressful motherhood, before that we don't see that, and we don't see Carl and her mother-in-law and everything else that's in the novel. But so that's the original idea, and so I'm making a feature about that. So it's gone from a novel to a short film and now a feature. So hopefully you will see more of this. Yeah.
All right, Katarina, you had a question?
Yes, and you kind of started answering it, but for the rest of you, do you have any upcoming projects? What's next?
Well, so the answer is we're right now working on a feature, and we got the development money from Svenska Filminstitutet, and so I'm just promoting and financiers, believe in me one more time, and see if I can make a feature of this. And we believe it's an international film more than just an art house Swedish film. So it's gonna be more thriller, but also a little bit more comedy and absurdism in the feature one. So I'm working right now with Rasu Arif, a really good screenwriter, and we hope for the best.
It's very interesting. So we are working on our first feature film, and it's probably going to be a horror film as well. We have a couple of ideas and scripts ready, but I think this one is kind of cheap, which kind of raises the possibilities to make it. And it's also horror films. I think it's easy to like make a horror short and then make a horror feature. Feels kind of natural. But then we also have 2 other projects, and I can say a little bit about those. So like, there's another crime feature that we're producing, but we're not directing it. And we're actually going to meet 2 other like director brothers here in Skåne. So that's one. So it's like a sibling thing, I guess. And then we also are working on a. Well, maybe you can talk about that.
I'm probably going to butcher it, but let me give it a try. We're also actually trying to develop a game, which, it's easier to show like what that game is going to be, but it's going to kind of be a first-person shooter game, very like kind of strange, like a very different type of project compared to the feature-length films. But we're also basically trying to develop a game. And I could just mention. In regards to the heist movie, it is a crime movie, but it's also a heist movie. And I want everyone listening, to kind of imagine, like, if you've seen Michael Mann movies, like Heat, imagine that, but in Stockholm, basically. So that's what we're going for. And also, like, Good Time by the Safdie brothers, another couple of brothers. So there's a lot of brothers connected to this, but yeah.
I'm working on a new stop-motion short film. So I'm in the process of building the set right now. And it's about a funeral that turns into a magic show.
All right. Do we have any more questions? Right, one up top again.
I'm just curious to hear about the response you've gotten on your short films.
I think it's been good. It's been around for more than a year now, and it has received some awards. So I'm happy.
I think it's been pretty good. We've shown it to a couple of film festivals, and we won. I think it's like 3 awards or something like that. So it's been good. I think my favorite memory is basically just showing it to people and having them see it and kind of react. Where, like, preferably when they react kind of the way you wanted them to react, sort of kind of laughing at the right places and getting scared at the right places.
As you said, like, we've gone to several different festivals, and we've received 3 like best horror awards, which felt very good for us, that we actually managed to sell the horror of it. And then it's been a very good experience. I feel like it feels like the audience like it as well. So we feel very fortunate to have made a film that have had some success.
So I had a problem with the grading of my film because all the graders wanted to do crazy stuff, and then we had to execute like one after the other until we find another one. So all my money for festivals, I had to, like, I didn't have any money for festivals because you have to pay for all the festivals when you submit. So I actually got into a few festivals, Hagesund and the Gothenburg Film Festival, and I'm going to Trieste next week. But a few festivals, and I like one award for best thriller, but not much. But the best part is that I think the best thing is sorry.
No.
The best part.
The best part. The best part.
Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah, the best part is that during the film, the process, I collaborated with a lot of females, like a lot of women that I had a focus group, and I let them read the script. I let them see the first drafts of the film, and all of them have had like a lot of nice feedback to me, and like people have said, oh, I recognize myself, by being this, whipping myself as a hardworking mom, and so I've received a lot of like direct messages from women, mostly all over the world, and a lot of scientists, people who work with AI, have also reached out to me, and now for the feature it's really good because I have those focus groups, and So I'm working a lot with researchers and scientists and psychologists and people that have a lot to say about the future of AI and motherhood. So yeah.
Do we have any more questions? I don't know how we are on time, but I think we can do some more questions if we have any. All right. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. I see a hand.
Maybe, how was it to cast a child for the acting? How was it to work with such a young?
Actually, this is my daughter. So that's Noemi, and she's 8 years old, and she's actually, I didn't discover her. It was actually Svenska Barnprogram on SVT who discovered her. She's in Bilakuten and like a lot of shows. If you go in to see SVT, she's natural. And she said to me, I said, Noemi, please, do you want to be in my film? And she's like, okay, but I'll do only 2 shots. Like I cannot do it more. Like if you do it on 2, I can manage. So I said, oh, yeah, okay. And we shot this actually on Halloween. So the shot with when she's calling the dad, she was like, Mom, I'm just doing this once because I want to go trick-or-treating. So yeah, it was very, it's hard being a mom at that time also. Yeah. Yeah, I mix my family, and it's actually my husband that she's calling in the film also. So this is a family enterprise. Yeah. Yeah. Do you want? I mean, this doesn't work, but do you want to?
Oh, yeah. No, I think the sign is. Well, big round of applause to the guests. Thank you for coming.